Morning, everybody. Welcome to Coffee with John, part 3 of 3 with James Giancotti, CEO of 2 companies, not just one. Oddup and Alluva, the largest global analyst marketplace for crypto assets. I encourage everybody to go listen to the other 2 coffees this week because today we are talking about how you pay for things using crypto. Right? There's a Bitcoin machine at the gas station at the corner by my house. And I think 99 out of 100 people have no clue how to use it. So how do you pay for things using crypto, and where is your money?
Well, this is the interesting thing that also took me back when I first learned about it, is that you can buy Bitcoin as an asset, and it sits on a wallet, and the wallet presents a QR code, and you pay via QR code to QR code. So you send it via address to address. QR code is the best form. Now, anyone who's lived in China and used WeChat will know exactly how to use this. And a lot of people now in the past 2 years through COVID have learned how to use QR codes. So that's the good thing about how to pay for things. But
I just want to say one thing real quickly. Coinbase, for their Super Bowl ad, I think brought QR codes a little bit back. I mean, from what I understand, they became the number 2 app because of their Super Bowl commercial, and we're not expecting the traffic from what I heard.
Yes.
And it really took things down. But I think it kind of refreshed it. Even though people were using QR codes for menus through COVID, it kind of brought QR codes to a different level, Coinbase. So kudos to them.
Yeah, so the QR code, and Coinbase have done brilliantly, particularly because they're one of the leading ones in the world. But QR codes are going to be the easiest way for people to sort of pay for something where, you'll have your mobile phone, you'll have your balance of crypto. Similar to what people use one of these things, a watch, and they pay for things with a little swipe. The same thing will happen with crypto. The key thing for people to get is the wallet and the understanding of that wallet. And so that's usually the hardest thing to understand, where you've got this address, which is 28 characters or multiple characters, or more depending on the protocol you're using. And in those, and that creates your wallet address. But for most people, they just want an app, and the app shows the balance. The only difference that people find challenging when they pay for crypto is that your price of, just if you look at any given day, Bitcoin can be up 5%, down 20, up 25, down. And so when you convert it to USD, your coffee becomes slightly more expensive or slightly cheaper. And so this is the only thing that people sometimes find the challenging when paying for things.
Right. So it's so interesting. Where do you see the learning curve? There was a book I read probably 20 some years ago. I don't know if you read it, called Crossing the Chasm by Jeffrey Moore. And in it, he talks about how there are, the pioneers, and then there's the laggards, right? It takes X amount of time for people to, there's the early adopters, and then there's the people who just take a long time. How long until this really becomes, from your perspective, James, more mainstream?
I actually think we've had the biggest boost in the world now, thanks to QR menus, QR codes to get in and checking into places. So I actually think it's going to happen faster. I think by the end of the decade, at 2030, 2033, you're going to see a big push into the crypto space. I have no doubt about it. So I think that it heavily ramps up in the next 4 to 5 years. But it then becomes pretty comfortable within a decade. And the reason why I say this is I'm seeing people like my parents more than comfortable use a QR code or use a phone to pay for something at a store. So seeing that move, I actually don't think it's going to take as long as people think it will.
Well, and I think also, if you look statistically at the Generation Z, right, they are going to be one of the largest pieces of economic growth in the year 2030. Data is showing that 85% of the jobs that exist in 2030 do not exist today, which means we are going through major changes, and those new companies are going to be adopting, this new technology, which means the other companies are going to have to adapt. And, to me, I think we talked about this on our interview for Think Business. Jeff Hoffman, who founded Priceline, has a great TED Talk about something that he does called info sponging. 15 minutes a day, he studies just everything but his industry. Not that he doesn't study his industry, and so I think we all have a responsibility to spend 5 to 15 minutes a day studying until we just get it. So I appreciate your time this week. James, tell everybody how they can connect with you.
You can see me on Twitter at James Giancotti or at oddup.com and reach out to me. Happy to answer questions you have.
Awesome. James, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much. The community, reach out to James, get to understand crypto. It's our future. Thanks so much, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you.